Hello, this is Brian J signing on, and this is kind of like, I know this video is late. It's like almost 7 days after the incredible fight between Rose Namajunas and Weili Zhang, but these are kind of like my thoughts on everything that happened during the fight. It was a fantastic fight. In my opinion, the fight could have gone either way. It was a 50-50 fight. Like, you could give Weili Zhang the first 3 rounds. You could give Rose rounds 3, 4, and 5. I felt two of the judges' scorecards were kind of bogus when they gave Rose round 2. I thought Weili Zhang was hurting Rose a lot more. I thought she staggered her more. She got more takedowns. She had more top control. So I thought Weili Zhang won that round. Rose got a takedown in the last 40, 50 seconds of the round. I don't think that was enough for her to steal the round. At best, it would be a split round at that point. So, but I gave Rose rounds 3, 4, and 5. The scoring was very odd during the fight. I thought Usman beat Kobe, but one judge gave Usman 4 rounds, which was weird. And with Rose, one judge gave Rose 4 rounds, which I thought was a little too wide. Rose versus Zhang was a fantastic fight. It was great. Rose proved that she is a championship caliber fighter. She had to dig deep to get that victory. She won the last 2 rounds, and she proved to Weili Zhang that she was just the better fighter and that she wanted the victory a lot more, because Weili Zhang was saying that, she caught me in the first fight. It wasn't a long fight, so she didn't prove that she was better than me, even though you got knocked out by Rose. Like, Rose knocked you out, so you can't say that she wasn't better than you when she knocked you out. And credit to Henry Cejudo for being honest. Like, he was like, so you just got caught. You got to admit that. You just got caught. You got knocked out. It happens. It happens to everybody. So credit to Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo might be kind of a wild man sometimes, but credit to him for just being brutally honest as a coach to Weili Zhang. And I think more fighters need that. I think more fighters need a reality check of where you're at. Like, you're saying this, and this, but you got to at least have a reality check of where you're at so you don't get disappointed by the result, because a lot of fighters mentally, they fall apart when they have this almost cognitive dissonance of themselves and who they are in the octagon and in the fight and in life. And then when it doesn't happen, it's like, it like fucks with your head and messes with your reality. That's how I feel. But it was a great fight. Honestly, if Zhang had gotten the decision, I would have loved to have an immediate third fight. I think a third fight between them would be great. I think a third fight between Rose and Joanna would be great. But the thing is, Rose has beaten them twice. And, the UFC, Dana White, isn't going to make a third fight if one fighter lost twice. It's why a third fight between Valentina and Nunes hasn't happened yet, because, the last time they fought was 4 years ago. And they keep beating everybody in their weight classes, or in Nunes' case, 2 weight classes. She's beating everybody in 2 different weight classes. Valentina's cleaning out women's flyweight at this point. I don't see anybody really stopping her so far. Knock on wood, of course. Don't want to jinx Valentina. She's an incredible fighter, my favorite fighter. Rose beat Joanna twice, so really the only fight that makes sense is her fighting Carla Esparza. Or Jessica Andrade, because Jessica Andrade is 1-1. Jessica won the first fight by slam, TKO by slam, and Rose got a unanimous decision in the second fight, but I think it was a split decision, or maybe it was a unanimous decision, but Rose won the first 2 rounds, and then Jessica Andrade started beating the shit out of Rose in round 3. Rose just got really tired, and Jessica just started just going after her. The problem with the second fight, Jessica was so focused on head movement that she wasn't throwing any strikes. She was just doing this all the time, for 10 minutes, for the first 2 rounds, just moving her head side to side, like, oh shit, I got, like, Jessica Andrade is a good fighter, but she's really stupid. She has a one-track mind. Like, she's like, against Rose, she was like, I gotta focus on head movement. So that's all she was doing. It's like she can't eat bubble gum and walk. She can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. When she has her mind set on something, she just does that. If she's charging at you and throwing strikes and trying to bulldoze you, she focuses on that. If she's trying to focus a lot on head movement, she just focuses on that. It's like you got to do both at the same time. And that's why she lost to Valentina, because she was trying to do that bulldozing thing, and Valentina was just too strong for that. That wrestling and Sambo background just came in, and Valentina was just slamming her and throwing her around like a rag doll. She had no strength against Valentina at all. It was crazy. So, yeah, I think if Rose can't get the second fight against Carla, if the UFC doesn't want to do that, they'll have Rose fight Jessica Andrade, because both of those fights were competitive. Even though I thought Rose was winning the first fight, she got slammed, and she struggled. The second fight, Rose was winning, and then she struggled, and she took a lot of punishment in the third round. So a third fight between Rose and Jessica makes a lot of sense. Jessica can make 115 still. And yeah, so it's Carla Esparza or Jessica Andrade for Rose. And I guess Joanna will fight the winner of both of those fights. Of either of those fights, Joanna will fight the winner if the loser is Rose. If Rose loses one of those fights against Jessica Andrade or Carla Esparza, then Joanna will fight Carla or Jessica afterwards. But if Rose wins both of those fights, then forget it. I don't think Joanna's ever fighting Rose ever again. And Weili Zhang isn't fighting Rose. I think Weili Zhang could just fight Joanna, because that first fight was the best fight of 2020. You know, for once, a fight between two women was considered the best fight of 2020 by many publications. There's not a lot of female fights that get fight of the year categories. And Joanna Weili Zhang was clearly the best fight of 2020. In 2020 had a lot of great fights, even in the middle of a pandemic, but that fight was incredible. So anyways, these are my thoughts about last weekend. Last weekend had a lot of great fights. Congratulations to Rose for proving the doubters wrong again. And this is Brian J. signing off for now. Shout out to Coach Charlton Harrison. Shout out to everybody in LD MMAC. This is Brian J. signing off for now.